Hello, everyone. My name is Alexander Ermenkov. I'm a ruling reality coach, and I'm continuing my series Daily Reality with Alex. Today is 16th of February, 2023. It is my daughter's birthday, and I would like to speak today with all of you regarding reality detox. And this is something very interesting that is helping me a lot when I'm understanding reality and when we are constantly interacting with reality. And this is a very interesting topic. And we are to understand and to know what exactly is happening in our daily reality in order to know that we actually need constantly to double check ourselves and to review and observe when there is a necessity for detox, because nothing in reality works in comfort zones, and more we saturate ourselves with a specific reality instead of us trying to know why reality is changing for us, why there are some things that are not possible anymore to be contained or to continue happening in our reality, or instead of just trying to have a specific or fixed reality, to be open towards the times of detox. In the times of detox, we feel uncomfortable because as with the detoxification of our body, because usually we as human beings think that the detox is only for the body, because more and more we input in our body, more and more things are saturated in the body, and then from time to time we need to have a detox. We need to be in a detox state also in our consciousness, also in our interaction with the daily reality. There is one very big problem with reality, that it is very sticky. It is not so easy for us to unglue from reality. Detachment from reality is getting even harder when we like what we are constantly perceiving. The more we like what reality is giving to us, more sticky it becomes, and more detoxification we need, because we think that when we are receiving what we want, when we are building by the intent a specific type of life that we think is the most perfect one and is the one type of life that we have always desired, and we start, for example, to experience it, we are attached more and more, and a lot of invisible things are also happening with us. And that's why we are in a necessity to 100% change our reality and go into detoxification modes when we are starting to receive different types of obstacles. And if we label this type of obstacles as detoxification principle, and also if we label these periods as time of purification, as time of detoxification, then we are going to cherish this type of moments. Because once we are starting to create our comfort zones, once we are, in a sense, in coherence, once we start liking and desiring and being in love with our external reality, we are becoming more and more glued to what we like, and then little by little we cannot unstuck, and then we go into this stagnation, and then we go into more allowance of things that we normally, when we are on focus, when we are urged, we are not going to allow for ourselves. For example, when we go into comfort modes, the comfort modes are creating new prisons for us, and some of us are not willing to move forward into growth, and more we stay in these comfort zones, more and more toxification from different types of environment, or we start becoming overconfident. Well, now we're the rulers of our reality. We are the ones that are actually controllers, because by rulers of our reality, I mean that we are able constantly to shift, constantly to understand what is happening, and are able to always allow whatever is coming to us, and of course, only long term to fix things in reality, but also to be open towards detoxification periods that are to also be allowed in our reality. Just imagine if we are never accepting this type of periods to happen in our reality, then for sure we are going to grow such a nice and beautiful egoistic beings that are going to become an overconfident type of beings that think that they already understand, that they already know, that they are not in a position to grow anymore, and they are going to be only mentors, or they are becoming some type of a judges. And for me, it has happened many times in the past when I thought that there is now some principles or some mindset games that I'm already very skillful at. And then reality just gives me the next detoxification process where all my abilities, all my powers, all my overconfidence is just destroyed very fastly. And I need once again to start trusting the processes that exist, and to understand that actually 100% we are dependent upon the reality construct. So in a sense, yes, all the influence is coming from our inner being, but when our inner being become overconfident, we are receiving unconsciously a lot of toxification in the reality. And then we start wondering why after time we are starting to become not such a pleasant type of beings for the people around us. And of course, it is a difficult process for all of us because it's sticking and unsticking processes. More and more we enjoy, more and more we laugh, more and more challenges we need in order to become like Teflon and to become beings that know how to enjoy, but also know how to be unstuck for the beautiful and wonderful things that are happening in the outer reality, and never to become overconfident that we are the ones that are rulers of reality without its eager participation in the process. And it is very important principle because it gives us the ability to stay humble and to know that we are the most strongest, and we are really confident when we are in 100% surrender, and when we know that paradoxically our power to influence is when we are in a trust mode, but never being in an overconfidence that only our intent matters. because yes, our intent is the most important thing in our personal subjective reality and in our solipsism type of participation in the reality. But there are so much more, many things that are happening. And that's why when we understand that all of us are having their own solipsisms, their own personal type of realities, we are much more better to be positioned as collaborators, as supporters to each other, because then we are able to release our compassion and to understand that all of us, wherever we are all the time fighting and having the same problems. It's not possible, some of us, to be such successful type of beings that we are like the gods, and we are such an examples, and we are so perfect that we have 2 or 3 or 4 types of human beings. Some are the perfect ones that are on the top, and the other ones are the unsuccessful ones, and so on. Reality is not allowing these types of beings to exist, because reality is created in such a way that more we achieve, more we are in success, more obstacles, more suffering, more sacrifice is required of this type of beings, because more influential we become, more compassionate authentically we are also to be, in order not to be glued to our achievements, in order not to be glued to our confidence. And that's why, in order to stretch, in order always to stay in the zone where we are constantly only possible, only to trust and nothing else, I'm always making big difference between my gaps and my gains. A lot of people that are looking me from outside think that Alex has such big gains and he has almost no gaps. He has received all his desires, he has fulfilled all his dreams, and so on and so on. But this is from the perspective of other people, that I have huge gains, everything is very easy, and I have so little efforts to do everything that I want to achieve. And it is happening with all the so-called successful people that are around us. We think that for them life is different, and for us it is so impossible to be like them. And if we are trying constantly to compare, then we are entering a loop of delusion. And basically, once we understand that all of us are the same, that there are no better beings, there is no better self, there is no improvement, the only thing there is the skill, the knowledge, the understanding, and the realization of how the human being is to teach itself how to express itself and how to trust the construct and its creators in order to be able to live a harmonious and aligned life. So it's very interesting. The more and more we are elevated in our heart, in our mind, in our guts, in our spiritual experience, the more and more different becomes the obstacles. The suffering is felt in different way. For example, in my case, now I don't have a lot of material sufferings. But of course, I have a lot of things about which I'm constantly in pain, because suffering requires pain. And I know a lot of people are trying to escape pain and sufferings, but they are important because they are helping us to understand and to balance this gluing and ungluing process. Because if we come into the situations where we think that it is so possible to validate ourselves that no more growth is required, when the muscles, for example, are growing, first they are breaking themselves, and then in order the body to make them more strong for the next tension, it is giving them more muscle tissue, and they are growing. Then they are cutting a little bit again, and they are growing even more. So it's constant tension and pain, and then more reward, tension and pain, then more reward. So it is the same way with these detoxification processes, when sometimes we feel that we are shrinking, that we are not maybe doing something right. Even the biggest believers, even the people with the biggest faith and attachments, in a sense of very strong beliefs, and they think that everything in their reality is 100% now settled, new type of trials, new type of challenges are required in order this type of people to escape their new prisons that are created from the new successes, in order to unglue ourselves or themselves and to move into the next process. So once we look in this way into the reality through the detoxification, and then again grow, it's not possible to have constant and only grow. We can grow, then we have some failures, we have some regrets, we have some negative emotions, and then this creates tension, and then this creates new motivation, new desires, and so on, and then new growth is given to us. But meanwhile, between the different processes of growth, what is happening is that for all of us, these tensions, these challenges, these trials are able to give us a more deep connection of understanding how the interaction between the inner being and the outer reality is working. Because it's anyhow not possible for all of us to have only internal reality. The external reality is always going to be with us. All the external challenges are always going to be validating us, because they are the ones that are the reflection of who we are, and are constantly showing us what exactly in the moment we are to start changing, to start giving up, to start surrendering. It is a non-stop and never-ending process. And of course, the big reward for the human being is that more of our essence then is being allowed and is being able to be expressed in the outer reality. So thank you for watching today. Enjoy whatever is presenting before you, and never fight the seasons. There are seasons for detoxification, there are seasons for joy, but life is never only one thing. And this is so beautiful. And instead of trying to fight, to resist, we are to learn to always accept. And of course, meanwhile, we are constantly using our intent, but are also grateful and thankful for whatever is appearing daily in our reality. And then our big wins are just thankfulness that some of the things in reality were validated, and some of the things from our intent has become part of the external reality for other beings. And for example, I just received a new document based on which I'm going to start building a new investment for more than 1 million euro. And it is going to become part of the external reality and is going to create beautiful experiences for beings in the next 20, 30, 50, 100 years forward, and so on. But nobody will never know about all my detoxification processes, all my pains, all my sufferings, everything with which I'm working in my inner being regarding the ruling of my own personal reality. And for all of us, anyhow, in the end, when we are exiting, the only thing that is going to matter is who we are at this moment as a being. So thank you for watching. Enjoy your reality. Follow me in all the different platforms. I'm going to give away 10 ruling reality basic programs on the 23rd of February in almost 1 week. And you can see I'm going to have a webinar, and you can DM me if you want to have more questions and so on and so on. But don't forget, ruling our own personal reality is the most existential thing that we are constantly doing daily. It's not the choices. Sometimes we think that the choices is what makes us human. No, the management of our reality is not what makes us to be interactional and to be involved in everything that is happening. And a lot of time we think that the choices that are happening in our daily reality, they're the important thing, but actually the important things are the states and the way we are using our being to interact with the outer reality and what is going to be allowed for us to express, and how much are we going to allow ourselves to become an expression being. Bye-bye.